So how do you spend your evening when you have a bowl full of elderberries? You start canning. Yeah. So do like I did last year. The first thing I do is kind of set my my recipe down here. I'm gonna back out just a little. Well, I'm hoping you can read that. I'll back out a little and then hang out here for a minute. That way you can, if you need to pause the video, you can pause the video and write it down. And then I'll come in and kind of talk about, so you know, elderberries. These are all fresh, so it's 40 grams pretty much fresh, which is about it's a little less than a cup, and I just go ahead and use a cup. And then for every cup of elderberries, I need 3 cups of cold water. 1/4 of a teaspoon cinnamon, and then a 1/2 teaspoon cloves, and then a 1/4 cup citric acid, and I'm sorry that doesn't say cup, and then it's a 1 cup maple syrup. And that version, makes sense, gives you this this very dark clove maple syrup, dark brown, almost purple looking color. Now, same recipe, but then you come over here where it says or. So if you do not use the cloves, you use a teaspoon of turmeric and 1/8 teaspoon black pepper. And don't use the maple syrup, use a cup of honey. And what you end up with is this kind of crimson red elderberry color. Isn't that awesome? And then from there, processing on all of them is the same. You get your herbs and your berries, not your honey, not your acid, and you bring it all to a boil like you're doing for a tea. You bring it to a boil, and then you roughly 20 to 30 minutes, you let it sit there and simmer and seep. Strain it off into a container, use cheesecloth, and that way you can wring out all the seeds and get all the good stuff. Then put it back into a clean pan, add your honey and your syrup and your lemon. And then things to note, if you do 1 part honey per 1 part liquid, as an example, 3 cups of water, so you would need 3 cups of honey. You can store it for up to 6 months on the counter and it won't go bad. I don't do that, that's too sweet for me. I only do 1 cup of honey versus 3 cups of fluid, so it's got to be canned. Yeah, and then I can for the 20-minute mark because I'm above 1,000 feet where I live. It's a really easy recipe. Just tends to be time consuming. So what you see here are 3 batches. 3 large ones, and then the smaller ones here. You can see where that one's not quite full. So it was 3 large ones and a small one, 3 large ones and a small one, and then I had a little left over that one. So this little left over here, that'll be for me. That'll be first one in the fridge on that one. This is the turmeric one. I got 2 large ones out of it, and then not quite 3 small ones. Or I'm sorry, not quite 2 large ones. And I did that because I forgot that this lid was bent, so it will not seal right. Just because the way the lid is bent, you run the risk of boiling water getting in there. So I didn't even can it at all. This will be also the first one in the fridge that I start taking on my own because my ring is bent. These others all got canned. So, yeah. And again, that's just first batch. I will be doing this all day tomorrow. Yeah. Then I've got several more batches with the clove and several more batches with the turmeric, and I got a lot of not blueberries, but elderberries here still. Big old bowl full. So yeah, I still have some on the tree to do too, so I'm gonna have a really good elderberry year, which is awesome. Panda's barking at me. She went outside. She's like, "Oh my God, Mom, you're videoing without me." So having said that, y'all have an awesome evening, and Miss Panda and I will talk to you later.